Beyond the Badge with your Oshkosh Police Department.
My name is Marianne Radley, and I am the Advocacy Program Director and Volunteer Coordinator at Reach Counseling. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It's recognized around the country, and obviously everybody knows sexual assault exists. That it's a thing that happens far too much. Maybe people don't realize how much it does happen, but April is really a time for centers like Reach that exist across the state and across the country to really put more attention on the issue, do more community outreach, get community members engaged in conversations and events that they might not otherwise pay attention to or think about. So Sexual Assault Awareness Month is really an opportunity for us to shed more light on the issue, have events that we can invite the community into, and also focus on prevention. Because while we know it happens, we also want to talk about ways that our community can get involved to stand up to sexual violence, support survivors, as well as prevent the violence from occurring. We are going to have a panel held here in Oshkosh at the Best Western. So I would encourage people who are watching that might be interested to go to our Facebook page. We'll have updates on there. We'll create an event to make sure people know when that's happening. But it'll be some people from Reach and maybe other community members that will get together. We'll probably, focus on this year's campaign theme and other information just about Reach, and also take community member questions too. So I hope it's a good turnout. Again, those details are still in the works, but people can go to our Facebook page in the future and those will be up. The National Sexual Violence Resource Center is kind of the national entity that guides Sexual Assault Awareness Month themes and campaign activities. So agencies can choose to go along with what they've chosen for the theme any particular year, and Reach has chosen to go along with the theme of I Ask this year, because I Ask really focuses on consent and prevention. So obviously, again, I talked about, we know sexual violence happens, but how can we prevent it from happening? So this campaign really focuses on empowering folks to ask for consent and prevent sexual violence from occurring. I think people get really freaked out or think that it's kind of cheesy or maybe takes, away from the moment if we're asking questions like, is this okay, or can I do this? But really it's as simple as, can I hold your hand, or may I kiss you? Because it's just about respecting people's boundaries and respecting people's, really their boundaries and asking what they are comfortable with at any given time. And that's just showing that we care about them. So it can start as young as, we're talking to our toddlers about, can I give you a hug, instead of, oh, give them a hug. Ask, is it okay if we give you a kiss? Or, just making sure from a young age, we know that kids, as they grow into young adults and adults, that they know that they're in control of their body and who gets to touch them, and who then they also can touch. So just normalizing those behaviors from an early age is really important. Reach, we offer a lot of services in the community. We've been around for over 40 years here in Oshkosh and Neenah. So we serve primarily Winnebago County, and we are the recognized sexual assault service provider for Winnebago County. And we're also a licensed mental health clinic. So that being said, we have advocacy services that work with people, victims of sexual violence throughout legal and medical systems. So we will accompany a survivor to the hospital when they go for their forensic exam to provide support and resources in the aftermath of an assault. And we'll also go along with them if they decide to report to the police and if they end up going to court. So we can help support them the entire way, so people never have to go through this process alone. It's very scary, very difficult time, really difficult decision to make. Sexual assault is probably, if not, it's one of, if not the most underreported crimes out there. So if we can empower people to make decisions that are best for them by knowing that they'll have a support person, that's what we aim to do. So we have specialized programs for the Native American and Latina communities, as well as a campus victim advocate. We have an advocate who works with survivors of trafficking, and also an advocate who works on the initiative where there was a whole lot of untested rape kits or forensic exam, kits. So we have an advocate who's been working on that initiative as well. So those are that's the advocacy program in a nutshell. And then we also provide many support groups for different groups of people, support groups in Spanish, support groups for the LGBTQ population, as well as prevention education in the community and counseling, long-term mental health care for folks who need that. As a nonprofit, we really rely on that community support. So one of the main things we seek out for donations is, I mentioned earlier, we will go to the hospital to provide support for survivors who are going through a SANE exam or a rape kit exam. Oftentimes those survivors have to give up their clothing for evidence if they were wearing that when they were assaulted. So that means they're leaving the hospital, hopefully not in a gown. So we try to provide donations to the hospitals so that survivors can leave wearing new clothing, fresh new set of clothing, sweatpants, t-shirt, sweatshirt, underwear, sports bras, socks, all those types of things. We're always looking for donations so that we can provide that new set of clothing for somebody that they can leave the hospital with some dignity and a new set of clothing when they're done. So that's always something that we're looking for to stock the hospitals with. And then of course, financial donations, and we also have a lot of volunteer opportunities. Okay. So the main one that I train for at REACH is volunteer victim advocacy. So that is volunteers who help us provide 24/7 coverage in Winnebago County. They go out to the hospitals nights and weekends and provide that same emotional support that me and my staff do during the day. So 2 o'clock in the morning, if somebody goes in for an exam, someone from REACH will be there. If people want more information about REACH, they can visit our website, which is reachcounseling.com. I mentioned we do have a Facebook page, and our phone number is 920-426-1460.
Police service dogs have become essential members of today's law enforcement teams. Since service dogs were first introduced to law enforcement back in 1907, they have repeatedly demonstrated their value as a practical locating tool for officers. Service dogs assist in the apprehension of dangerous subjects, the detection of illegal drugs, and the aid in deterring criminal activity. In general, they are a useful asset to have in all of the various law enforcement functions performed by the Oshkosh Police Department. Many people see them only as possessing drug detection capabilities. However, police dogs have also proven their value in having psychological effects on criminals, protecting their handler and other officers, and as a favorable assist in police public relations. They even help keep our schools safe and drug-free. The Oshkosh Police Department currently has 2 K-9 unit teams consisting of Officer Clint Fedig and K-9 Lando, as well as Officer Brad Fox and K-9 Odin. The breeding of German Shepherds is highly regulated, and only the finest dogs are selected to be K-9 officers. This is due to the extreme demands required of a police K-9. K-9 Lando joined the team in 2018, and K-9 Odin has been here since September of 2017. In order for these dogs and their handlers to be properly trained, they were sent to a facility in New Mexico called K-9 Services. In addition to locating illegal substances, these dogs are also certified in building and area searches, evidence searches, tracking, and protection. The Police K-9 program is not only an invaluable resource to the Oshkosh Police Department, it also serves as an effective tool in the protection and safety of the citizens of Oshkosh. The Oshkosh Police Department K-9 unit is funded entirely through donations from the public. All costs of the program, with the exception of personnel, are paid through the generosity of individual citizens, groups, and local business owners in the Oshkosh community. A federal grant, a private donation, and the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation provided for the initial purchase of our service dogs. A K-9 Care Fund has been established to receive donations designated for the Police K-9 program, and donations made to the Oshkosh Police Department K-9 Fund are tax deductible. If you are interested in contributing to the K-9 program, please call 920-236-5700.
You gonna do? Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You chuck it on that one, you chuck it on this one, you chuck it on your mother and you chuck it on your father, you chuck it on your brother and you chuck it on your sister, you chuck it on that one and you chuck it on me. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Nobody now give you no break. Police now give you no break. That old soldier man I give you no break. Not even